Okay, I'm going to show you how to replace the spur gear and the motor on Traxxas Stampede. First off, what we're going to be using is a Phillips screwdriver, standard size, a 2.5mm hex wrench, a 1.5mm hex wrench, small slit of paper, and a socket, 9/32 size, and a ratchet. Okay, first off, you have to use the ratchet here and loosen the tire off. I've already taken off the gear cover. Tire comes off, that little piece. Now I've already taken this part off. This will just kind of fit in there, kind of like that, and then you just tighten the screws up. Then first you take your screwdriver, loosen the little screw right below the pinion gear in the motor. Then you take the ratchet and loosen this. There's a screw here, right here on the end, and you just kind of loosen that up. Flip to the right, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Loosen that right up, and then that'll come off, and this little spiral piece will come off as well, and then the gear will just come right off. And then on the back there'll be kind of a metal plate that will you'll have to loosen by using the 2.5mm hex wrench, and loosening these 3 screws on here. Loosen those, that'll come off, and then you'll be able to move that little metal plate. And then there's a little blue circle in the middle that you'll have to take off as well, and then it'll just kind of pop right off. It doesn't take any screws. And then you'll pop that into the new gear, and then you'll put the metal plate back on, and then use your wrench and then tighten those screws back on. Take the little metal spiral piece, put that on, and then take the little bolt and put this back on, and flip this to the other side and tighten it, and make sure you tighten it really good. Otherwise it's not going to run properly. That's the problem I was having earlier. It just wasn't quite on there tight enough. So I got that fixed, and that's what you'll have to do. And then to remove the motor, you have to remove both of these screws, and then you'll have to use the 1.5mm hex wrench, and then there's a little space on the pinion gear. It's kind of a little black bolt that you'll have to use this, and then you'll just have to loosen that up, and then that'll come right off. And then these 2 little pieces that connect together, you'll have to remove those. They just slide right off. Then you place the new motor in there. Place the screws in. Sometimes it's a little tough getting the screws in the right place, but you'll eventually get in there. And then put this piece back on there, tighten that back up, and then you'll want to get a little piece of paper, just like this, kind of put that in there, like so, and then place it up against the spur gear, tight as you can. Just kind of hold it there, run it through. Want to run it through the other way. Run it through like this, and that'll be your proper spacing. And then put the gear cover back on. Tighten that back up. Make sure it's on there tight. on. Place your bolt back on there. Hold the tire. Tighten it. You don't want to do it too tight because otherwise it'll affect the rotation of the tire. So make sure it's not on there real tight. Make sure everything's in there good. Make sure all the bolts are tight. And then take your remote. You'll want to turn the remote on first. And then there's a little slit under here. You just press down like that and it turns on. See the little green arrow? And then of course, there it goes.